also not terrible this week was the Ahsoka episode. I didn't hate this episode. I didn't
The
really like it
finale.
either. It was the finale. It was the finale. And
But I mean, based on the last couple streams, it felt like you were
yeah, I was hating
hoping
it.
it'd be done soon. You know, it's like getting sluggish.
Well, I would all in all say though
Not
that
not against the power level, but it felt like I
no,
could
no,
hear
no.
in your voice like you were just wanting it to end soon.
Well, actually, I just saw the extras. I'd give that like a solid C. I'd give Ahsoka like a D. So I'd probably say it's not worth watching overall. And then I'd give, you know, Rings of Power, like an F, but it's not like a 50. It's like not a 50 out of 100. I'd give it like a 20 out of 100, like really low on the fucking bar. It's not even close to an F. It's like you can't give it a worse letter grade, but it's a really low F. It's almost like a 0 on like a test. When you get like a 0 on a test.
Okay. Yeah,
That's where I
it's not sounding good.
That's where I'd put Ahsoka. Or no, I'm sorry. That's where I put Rings of Power. Ahsoka, like a 60. Not worth watching, but close. There were some okay episodes. This last one was like I'd say this last episode was okay. I don't agree with these audience scores here. Jesus, 60, like 86%, and then 71%. I don't know what they're thinking here. It's bad. That 71% is more accurate, but I think it's a little high. That's a little high. And even IMDb, it's looking like it's getting a 7.9 on IMDb, and I don't agree with that. Don't agree with that one. Old Dave Filoni there. But yeah, this episode was fucking terrible title, but it actually had some good things. It had some nice pacing. It was called The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. So they're trying to go for a lion, witch, and wardrobe pun.
Uh,
Yeah, like why
why?
would you try to do that in like your own? I don't know.
Why?
That's also what I was thinking. I was like, why would you do that?
8.1 out of 10. That seems fucking generous. How much of that would you
Yeah,
say is manipulated ratings?
I wouldn't get. I put my rating down here. I would give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, so
Which
about
is
2% of this bullshit is fabricated.
yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
I would say that 6.5 is whenever 6.5 is where I think it's borderline. Like
it's generous.
it's watchable. Like it's watchable. It's like a high. It's a D plus, which is a D Disney Plus series, so D
Well,
plus.
I mean, it's hard to go off a voting system though, because like I could rate something horrible, but then it's really entertaining to watch, but it's not a good movie at all. Like I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
tell somebody that it's gonna be fun to sit through.
No, this one's not bad, but like the only thing that was nice about it was the pacing. It was directed by the guy Rick Fumiyawa or something. I don't know. Fukuyama. I don't know. He's done Mandalorian episodes. He's this guy. Do I have it on screen? Some black guy. Rick
Rick something.
Famu. Rick Rick F. Rick F. directed this.
Rick Astley. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Famuyima.
Famuyiwa. That sounds. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. Famuyiwa. Famuyiwa. Wow, that's fucking hard to say.
Famuyima.
Oof. Yeah, he directed it, and I think he did do a good job because the pacing was decent. The whole show actually holds your attention, and a lot of things happen in a short span, which is good and bad. Because sometimes it's nice to have things breathe. Like it's like this is at the point where I was like, almost like you're hitting me over the head with too much shit at once, and it's too much like crazy sci-fi shit that I don't know all these little inside Easter eggs shit at once. So, and then they
Too
gave
much
this Asian,
exposition.
yeah, they gave this Asian witch in it, like a flaming sword, and I was thinking like, does this bitch know how to sword fight? Like, how does she know this? Do witches know how to sword fight? Is that just a witch thing? And then again, witches and zombies in Star Wars. I don't know if I get it. don't know if I get it. Here's the promo.
I didn't know they had zombies.
Well, we're gonna get to that. That was a little spoiler. A little
Oh
spoiler there.
no, you're saying it's a spoiler. You said it before me. How am I spoiling
I
it?
know. It was a little spoiler. Little things to keep you interested here. Here's Disney Plus's promo. This is legit promo.
May the force be with you.
There'll be no negotiating.
Ooh, that is a short. That is a short promo. Ain't
When
giving a lot
somebody
away
says,
right there.
"May the force be with you," are you supposed to say it and also with you, like when you're
And
at
also with you. You're supposed to. The witch's power is not based on the force. There is magic now. It is old.
No, I thought it was
school
supposed to be your
witches.
metachlorian count.
I think they're trying to get rid of that because even
Why? Because it was too scientific, and they don't want to base their weird religious shit with some actual fake.
everyone hated that
science.
midichlorian shit.
Oh.
People hated that midichlorian shit. It should be more mystical about who's the one.
Yeah, no,
Like,
the people got all these like probably mystical motherfuckers were pissed off that they try to base it on some like mathematical equation.
well, that's what people hated. And then this even went a different step that is equally as, in my opinion, hated. In Ahsoka, they put forward that anyone can be a Jedi. Everyone has the Force in them. So it's like
Oh,
they
fuck
get rid.
that! No, it's
I
supposed to be
know.
like a weird.
It should be special.
It should be like a mixture of birthright and mutant shit.
Right.
Like you're either like fucked up and weird
I
and you
agree with
have
that.
it, or like you
I
were
think the
born
mutant shit is weird. Is better.
you're like born in because like your father was Vader and he came in your princess parent or whatever, and now you're this guy in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, not anyone. The Force is female. That's why. Yeah. So Sabine. I mean, Sabine. It's flat out told to you that she's not good. She really doesn't show any Force attributes, but because the Force is in everyone, she can be a Jedi. And oh yeah, that happens. That happens in this. There's a little Force moment. Here's some. I think this is kind of a fan promo, but pretty accurate about what
Ahsoka,
happens.
The force of the Mortis daughter is still with you.
There's Ahsoka the White.
I've always believed in your potential. And now the entire galaxy sees what an incredible
It's a
Jedi.
fucking Gandalf ripoff?
Oh yeah, she's totally Gandalf, which is
I've
still
learned
fucking
from my
dumb.
past mistakes. And I won't let history repeat itself.
The galaxy,
yeah? Does he make the same fucking movie over and over again?
you are merely a piece in my game.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is a real thing.
In the finale, did they have Mary Elizabeth Winstead finally pull down those khakis and show her big green ass to the camera?
No, but I heard people talking about something that was funny, and I was like, "Oh, she's always in the same outfit. Like she's always a pilot that's ready to, like she's always ready to pilot at every single moment. She's in a pilot costume
I've
the whole
seen
time.
some like weird shit of like she's got adult diapers on.
Well, it's like, why don't you dress like, if you're not gonna pilot that day, do you have to be in your pilot costume? You know what I mean? Like, like if you're not gonna pilot today.
Nah, I mean, just from my perspective, not actually watching the show, her character's got more attention than any other bullshit, whatever crap they came up with.
Oh, okay. I mean, she's got a good face, so I don't know. For a Twi'lek, I guess she's all right. I don't know.
You know what they needed? Some CGI Roger Rabbit werewolf trying to fuck everybody, so then they could just eventually take their tops off for no reason.
Yeah, well, we saw that in Evil Tunes here. I'm watching it now. If that's happening currently, if you watch Evil Tunes.
You're watching it. We haven't shown any of the footage from it. I don't
have any footage, but you can go see it yourself. Go watch Evil Tunes. But let's see if I can.
Yeah, make sure it's a good family flick. Make sure the whole
family friendly. You can watch it with your kids. You just have to tell them about all the sex stuff that's happening. But basically,
no wonder you're sitting in a empty theater watching The Exorcist.
Yeah. Morgan Elsbeth, which is this Asian witch lady. It starts off with her becoming one of the higher
Okay.
witches by
I'm gonna
the
hear that
Great
phrase every
Mothers.
day.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this ritual, and they burn her eyes out, which was kind of cool. Her eyes get burned out and be like this black thing, and then they give her a flaming sword, which really
In,
reminded me of.
in Amorosa, because I thought they already did that in
I don't
the
get it, man.
Exorcist thing.
I don't
There's
get
a
it.
lot of
I don't
ice
get that
stuff
shit.
going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of ice, and I don't get why a flaming sword. And again, she's a witch, and you're giving her a sword. How does she know how to use a sword?
You know,
Like,
reminds
is
me
that
of.
a witch?
Did you see the movie Event
Is that witch
Horizon,
training?
where the guy from Jurassic Park's eyes are like covered in fucking barbed wire and shit?
Sam
That
Neill.
movie's fucked
Sam Neill.
up.
Yeah, I mean, I like that
Sam
one.
Neill. Yeah, that movie
Uh,
really creeped me out. There's like
Do all
this.
witches know how to
There's like
sword
this
fight?
part where this little kid's running around on the ship and like all these. He's like some weird paraplegic, but now his legs all of a sudden. It's
Well, that
fucking
one's
creepy.
cool, man, because that ship goes to hell. Like, it goes through a weird, like, space section of space and goes to hell. I think goes through a
Well, there's
wormhole
this
to hell.
sequence where
Kind of like that idea.
one person from the crew accidentally gets released into space, and like all the fluids from their body get released from their eyes and mouth and stuff. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, but that movie does have a
That
lot
did
of
the
issues.
remake. I'm surprised nobody fucked with that shit before.
It's got a lot of issues to that movie, but it's still pretty good. And it has a lot of creepy parts that are legit creepy, especially when they watch
Yeah,
back the footage.
it's one of those
Remember
movies
the
where
footage?
overall it's not that great, but it has so many memorable scenes that it's still decent. I don't know how to
Yeah,
put
it
it.
is interesting. And also it was original, so it's had that going.
Well, yeah, I mean they made that like ghost ship fucking movie, which is like a even worse version.
But she's given the sword, and I kept thinking, like, how does she fucking know how to use this? That was like my first thought was like,
Instinct.
she knows how to use a sword? Like, why would we think she knows how to use a sword? Do Asian witches have sword training? Like, I don't get it. Is she Asian? I can't even tell. She looks kind of Asian. I don't know. In this photo, do you think she looks Asian? Am I crazy? Is she Asian? I might be wrong. But the next scene is Ezra building a new lightsaber with the help of the robot. The robot, by the way, is one of the best characters in the show. Played by the Doctor Who guy. What's his fucking name? Doctor Who, David Tennant. I like David Tennant. He's got a weird Chinese name though. The robot's name is Hu Yang, which is strangely Chinese, a little too Chinese. I don't know. Can something be too Chinese in Star Wars? Maybe it can. Ezra builds a lightsaber, and then Ezra and Ahsoka and Sabine are going to go after Thrawn head on. That's the plan. And meanwhile, 2 TIE fighters come up and fuck up the ship, but Sabine ends up killing the TIE fighters, girl power style. But it's obvious that the ship is fucked up and that the robot has to fix it now with the help of the hermit crabs. The hermit crabs are a big part of this show. Everyone loves the hermit crabs. I like the hermit crabs. They're a good makeup. Thrawn wants to leave before they show up, but also it's like, I'm like, why not just go? Like, why does this have to be like a wait thing? Just can't you go? We've been here. Like, there's been nothing that's been keeping you here. You could have left any moment. You've had the technology to leave. Like, why are we here? Why are you like waiting to leave? I don't get it. Meanwhile, then Ahsoka and Sabine, they ride out to go into this tower where the Star Cruiser is being held, kind of hovering above it, so they can kind of get there. So they run out there to get there on their wolves or something. And as they're running out, Thrawn issues an attack from the Star Destroyer to rain hellfire. So just like a little laser shit on them, and of course none of that hits them. Why would any of that hit them? It's very tiring that none of this stuff matters. There's no threat. You don't feel like anything is going to be bad for your main characters. And they get inside the tower, and then there's all these stormtroopers, and they kill 40 of them. They kill 40 of them right there, no problem. Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka. They're doing the deflecting blasts with the lightsabers, all that shit. Shit we've seen. Seen that a bunch. And then the witches do a spell. I mean, again, this is kind of interesting because it's different from the stuff we've seen in Star Wars. But the witches do a spell, and all those dead stormtroopers start to rise as zombies. Which, by the way, is a big fucking Game of Thrones ripoff. Like immediately made me think of Game of Thrones. Was it the Ice Walker people? I can't even remember that shit anymore. But yeah, how all those everyone started to rise up as zombies, which was done better, way better, especially that one episode of Game of Thrones where they're kind of on like a beach and all like the whole town gets fucking killed, and then a bunch of like a bunch of people escape, like Jon Snow escapes, and they're like escaped and they're walking, they're kind of like floating away, and then the Night King comes out and just raises everyone up as zombies. I always thought that was a cool scene. That's one of my better battle scenes. That was a cool scene. So yeah, but this wasn't intense. It was just they raise up, now they're zombies, and then Ahsoka and Sabine have to fight these zombies and run up the tower, like a video game. Did you hear this at all, John Lovitz, about these stormtrooper zombies? I'm curious what someone on the outside would think about that. Zombie stormtroopers. They did that. Zombie stormtroopers. You gotta let that sink in there.
Shit.
Yeah, shit is right. Shit is right. Because that is a shit idea. Why do zombie stormtroopers? I don't know why you do that. I'm gonna pour myself a little shot of liquor here, like Jim Leahy. This is for Ahsoka. This is for Ahsoka Tano. May Anakin look down on you with regret, like we all do. Yeah. So then this was kind of cool. I kind of like this part. This is something again I like. Thrawn tells Morgan Elsbeth, the Asian witch, that hey, these Jedi are advancing, and I got to get the fuck out of here. We need more time. Kind of saying like, hey, bitch, you need to fight these fucking people, and you're probably gonna die. But I kind of want you to fight these people so I can get some time. And I kind of like that. Kind of like that idea. I thought that was kind of cool. So Morgan Elsbeth, who's all witched out and black eyes, is like, all right, I'm down. I'm all in. She even said that. She's like, okay, I'm down. I'm all in. That was the quote. She is like, all right, I'm down to fight. So she whips out that fucking flame sword and starts fighting Ahsoka. And of course, it's over the top. And she really knows what she's doing with that sword. I didn't know that witches studied sword training. You know, enough to compete with a Jedi too. You know, like that's also weird. It's like, shouldn't Jedi have no problem with someone who's like a first time sword wielder? You know, this should be easy pickings right there. But yeah, so Ahsoka fights with the witch, and then Sabine and Ezra get to the top of the tower, and the ship is launching. So Ezra makes this gigantic jump across. Gigantic jump across.
This is a good mystery. No. Just stand there.
And there's a lot of fear involved.
Fear. F-E-A-R.
F-E-R.
That stands for false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Romance, do you know what it stands for? It stands for relying on magnificent and necessary compatible energy. Relationship. R-E-L-A-T-I-O-N-S-H-I-P. That stands for really exciting love affair. Turns into nightmare. Sobriety hangs in peril.
I had a can of like this Guinness stuff, and it fucking exploded all over me. I had it in the freezer, trying to chill it. It was warm.
Oh, well, I was talking about. Did you hear that thing about the
blew up all over.
Stormtrooper zombies? Did you hear about the Stormtrooper zombies thing I was talking about?
I thought you mentioned wizards or zombies or something.
Well, basically, all these zombies get killed. I'm sorry. All these troopers get killed. These stormtroopers, and then the witches resurrect the stormtroopers to be zombies. Kind of like Game of Thrones. Remember the Night King resurrects like everybody? It was a big Game of Thrones feeling scene, but it's magic, man. It's magic. It's the Force. Like Max would say, it's the Force. You do whatever you want. And yeah, so Sabine and Ezra get to the top of this tower, and the ship is launching, and then it's a gigantic jump. It's like probably like a full football field jump that he's got to make, and he jumps and doesn't get across all the way, and then Sabine uses the Force to like force push him to get to the ship, and he makes it, of course. And then, of course, like, is anything bad gonna happen to these people? No. Sabine then has to make a choice to go with Ezra or stay and fight with Ahsoka, and she stays, of course. And they kill the witch, this witch lady here on screen, and then the remaining zombie troopers. And that's kind of the end of the episode, really. And then Ezra takes the stormtrooper episode, or he takes the stormtrooper uniform and disguises himself on ship. So he's on there, and he's like going to be a stormtrooper in disguise. And Thrawn starts to fly off, and he destroys the tower. As soon as the tower gets destroyed, the Jedi, Ahsoka, and Sabine jump off into their ship, which of course the robot had it all fixed by the time they need to jump off. And then they go after Thrawn for a slight bit, but Thrawn's about to like drive right into space and kind of lets them know, like, hey, you fucking lost. Which I didn't mind that either. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's letting them know they lost. So I like that because they did. And then Ahsoka and Sabine go back to the Hermit Crab Village. I guess they regroup with them for some reason. That's not explained. I guess just to have more hermit crabs in there. Who doesn't like the hermit crabs? You ever get them at the beach? You ever get some hermit crabs there?
No, I've never had a pet like that where it's something you can't really play with, like a bird or fucking.
Yeah, something in the cage.
Usually, I've had a dog or a cat, and like, what do you do with a fish? You just kind of like poke the glass and hope it comes over and looks at you for a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of just look at it. That's sort of what you do. That's what you do.
I mean, if I could have a pet and be like okay, and not fuck me up, probably go with like a baby hippo.
Yeah. Oh, and then we see Maggie Gyllenhaal, some blonde-haired bitch. We've seen her before. She's with the bandits. She holds up a lightsaber. I don't know. And then this old Jedi guy. He's on top of. He's not dead. I kept thinking they'd kill this guy off because he actually does die in real life.
I thought you said he was one of the few good people on it, and he was dead now.
Well, the actor's dead, but at the end of the show, he's on top of this like old Jedi statue, and it's like this big. Yeah, he's on this. It's actually his story is still set up for more. He's on this weird big Jedi statue, and he's just like looking out, and then obviously like setting up for whatever's gonna happen later. But I guess they're gonna have to recast this guy. Which, it won't be that hard. It's just like a white guy with a beard. Come on. It's not that hard.
They don't have to recast. Just CGI assassin back. Like
I guess so. He's not that important. It's not like Luke Skywalker where you really need to CG him out. This guy could be recast. And Thrawn arrives. He hyper drives back into the galaxy. We know. I don't know. Do we know it? I don't know. Dathomir, which is a planet from the Clone Wars, because they have to have all these little Easter eggs where no one knows what the fuck's happening unless you've seen every single Star Wars show. And then Ezra shows up to Mary Elizabeth Winstead's ship. She's got her ass out. She actually has it pulled down, so she has her pants out. Her ass is out. She just exposes it for the last shot of the series. But
who does?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. No, I'm just fucking around with that. But Ezra shows up. He's in a stormtrooper
Is there
costume,
anything
and
even
then
close to that in the entire show?
no, there's nothing sexual in the show. There's nothing romantic in the show. There's no love story. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Why? Seems weird. Isn't it like such a common trope? You think it'd be almost necessary?
Well, it's because Jedi are boring. That's something that I've really realized. Jedi are
Yeah,
not
but fucking
interesting. They're not interesting.
Luke Skywalker was kissing his sister, and Ryan Phillippe was fucking Natalie Portman. They mixed it in.
Hayden Christensen?
Yeah, you know what I mean. They both look the same. White
Yeah, I mean,
guy,
he was
frosted tips in the early 2000s.
Ryan Phillippe probably could have been a decent Anakin. Actually, it's kind of.
He probably
I'm sure
would have been a
he could have
better
been
one.
cast.
He's got a little bit more edge to him and personality than this bland ass, cookie cutter motherfucker. I mean, what has he been other than that House of Sand Fog shit with Jim Malone?
Well, you know what? Just looked it up. He was almost cast for Anakin, as was Leonardo DiCaprio, as was Paul Walker.
That would have been weird. I feel like he after you do Titanic, you can't go from that to this kind of shit. It's too much baggage.
Michael Jackson was almost cast for Jar Jar Binks. That's not a joke. Sounds like a joke.
It sounds like some racist 4chan post.
Kurt Russell was the first choice for Han Solo, which I that one I get it. That makes a lot of choice. It makes a lot of sense.
He might have actually embraced it instead of being this bitter asshole every fucking interview you see.
Al Pacino was also a casting choice for Han Solo, but he didn't understand the script. That's actually like a quote. He said, like, I didn't understand what the fuck was happening.
Al Pacino as Han Solo?
Yeah, he was offered the role outright, and he
that would have been weird. I don't know.
You know what's weird? Look at this though. If you look at this, if you look at like their two faces with Han Solo next to Al Pacino, I kind of see it. They're not like far off.
It's not the visuals; it's the vocal tone. It's like Chewbacca, get the fucking laser. It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck into a rolling donut about what Al Pacino thinks.
Shit, I can naturally get that in. I was able to naturally put that in right there.
I was thinking the Dunkachino one.
Oh, I don't have the Dunkachino clip. I got to get that clip. But yeah,
when you
Balin's
used it the last time, it wasn't a clip. It was like just some random. Like, what's the difference between a clip and just showing that?
I just showed it on YouTube. I mean, I could always just show something on the fly on YouTube, but clips out are like in my system. It's easier to click. I could click, like.
Yeah, I knew your dad. I fought next to him in the Clone Wars.
Like that kind of clip, like a clip. I have these clips that you love. Yeah, I thought this was an okay. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, so Ezra shows up in a stormtrooper costume. He takes off his helmet. Takes off his helmet, and then he sees Chopper and Hera. Chopper's the R2-D2 character from Clone Wars. He's the not R2-D2, basically.
What do you mean? He's like the.
There's a robot character in the Rebels show, and the robot character is kind of interesting. It's like he's pretty much R2-D2. He's just R2-D2 sequel, the sequel to R2-D2 in a sense. Not bad character. Is he a character? I don't know. Droid. Ahsoka and Sabine, they're back at the Hermit Crab Village, and Ahsoka tells Sabine that she knows Ezra made it home because she's Gandalf now, so she's got those kind of powers. So she shows up on the doorstep of hobbits and asks them if they want to go on an adventure. She smokes a pipe now. It's funny how she smokes the.
It's like that fucking soundtrack is so.
No,
that
one or
the greatest adventure. That fucking
it's
shit.
The greatest adventure. Hurry up now, Lemmy-Winks. Yeah, Lemmy-Winks. The Lemmy-Winks song now.
Oh wait, did they? I forgot about that.
Oh, they copied it. Oh, they copied it to a T.
And could they get sued for that?
The best song, you know what's the best song in the Hobbit movie? Is the Down in Goblin Town song. It's like a metal song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Down in
Well,
Goblin
they like
Town.
walk into the hole and it's like pitch black, and then all of a sudden they're like fucking getting raped and pillaged in the middle of fucking Mount Moon or whatever it is.
That's Goblin Town for you, right? What would you expect? Oh yeah, and Ahsoka tells Sabine that whole bullshit, and at the end you see Anakin looking on as a Force ghost. You see Hayden Christensen in his Force ghost looking on at Ahsoka, and that's how it ends. It's beautiful. This was an okay episode. It's 6 out of 5. 6 out of I'm sorry, it was 6.5 out of 10. 65%, not good, not bad.
That's your rating?
That's my rating. It's not. I wouldn't give it a fucking 8 like I saw online. No fucking way. No way. Come
No,
on.
it's actually a 6. 2% is completely fucking manufactured.
I mean, that's why I kind of like. I hope people don't think my ratings are bad, but that Exorcist movie. I
If you're
mean,
worried about your ratings, you should just throw in a bunch of popcorn and soda shit and don't take it seriously at all.
well, I'd give Exorcist.
Just do odd similar
like I said.
ratings where nobody knows what the fuck you actually mean by anything.
Well, I'd give Exorcist 7.5 bags of popcorn. I'd give Ahsoka 6 bags of popcorn in total.
That's a lot. That's a lot of popcorn, man.
Well, I'd think. I mean, you know what? 6 bags of popcorn. I think this is just under the point of unwatchable.
Then that
It's
should be
close.
like 3
It's close.
bags of popcorn.
I do think there's too many references to Clone Wars and to things that the general audience won't know the fuck anything is happening. I don't like zombies in Star Wars, at all.
Well, hold on. What was the zombie shit?
There's these stormtroopers that get killed, and then these witches, the witches that we've been talking about, they raise up the dead for like a spell, and then they start fighting again.
What the
Kind of
fuck?
like in Game of
Yeah,
Game of
they're really
Thrones,
trying to rip off some Game of Thrones type of stuff.
Yeah, it really made me think of that too. I was like, this is too much.
Why are they
Like,
doing that? Like, you got
that's
so
too
much
much.
within your own franchise. Why do you got to leech off of that shit?
Yeah, and also this didn't have a really good conclusion or a big conclusion. It feels like a big setup to the, we know this movie's gonna happen, but Dave Filoni is gonna do a movie where it
Oh,
kind of
really?
wraps up.
Amarosa's gonna have her own movie?
Not really. It's gonna be a combo thing. Dave Filoni, who's the creator, he's gonna wrap up The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, which is this, Boba Fett, into a movie. And that's kind of what this is kind of leading to. This big wrap up of concluding all these series into one thing. Overall, I think the show is a 6 out of 10. It's not worth watching. Unless you're a big, non-Lucas Star Wars fan, so you love the Clone Wars, if you like that, I'm sure you'll love this shit. I'm sure you'll love this kind of bullshit. But still, I think the people that like the Clone Wars, I don't think this is going to be matching up with that. Like, if you like the Clone Wars, this is probably still a little bit less than that. None of these characters, I'm going to talk about just general storytelling. None of these characters change from beginning to end. There's nothing different about them. If anything, it's a smidge. I can't really tell. Like, Ahsoka's the same fucking character. She's got her arm crossed still at the end of the series. Like, that's the point of storytelling, is you want to kind of show an advancement of characters. Like, look at Lord of the Rings. Look at how many changes some of these characters go through. Like, is Frodo the same character that you see in the beginning of the fucking story? Not at all. Is any of the characters the same as what you see in the beginning of the story? I can't say any
those
are.
two, like, oh no, I mean they become like
Merry and Pippin, are they? I don't think they are. I think they're vastly different at the end of the movie.
Well, most of the villains remain the same the whole fucking time because they're so one-dimensional.
That's kind of fine because they're the villains. They're not supposed to have a character evolution.
Purpose.
Character evolutions are supposed to be more of an endearing thing. So you want to
I remember one of the ring rays transitioned mid-film.
But even like Saruman sort of has a character arc. Like even him is a different character.
He goes from an old British gay guy to a wizard.
I don't think Christopher Lee is gay. He goes from
I know, I
White
was
Wizard
thinking of
Count Dooku.
uh,
You're thinking of Ian McKellen as Gandalf.
he could have played that other wizard part too from Harry Potter.
Saruman. Oh,
No.
Dumbledore. Yeah, he probably could have. Yeah.
He turned that shit down because the original
I
guy
really
talked
like
shit on him.
Michael Gambon, by the way, just
Do you know
died.
that?
Yep.
Like he
You
turned
know the
down
other
part because he
other
didn't want to
Dumbledore.
play. He didn't want to take over the part of somebody who shit all over his acting and stuff.
The other Dumbledore died on the weekend. Michael Gambon. He just died.
No, the original.
No, Richard Harris. Well, he's been dead.
Yeah, Richard Harris said he thought Ian McKellen was a kind of a shitty actor, and that's why Ian McKellen didn't want to take over the part.
Well,
Kind of
the other
bitter.
guy, they're all dead except for Ian McKellen. So I guess he went out in the end. But you know what? A big thing, like I said, a big thing in this is not character change, and that's a problem with me. I mean, you want to have an evolution of a character. That's the point of storytelling. And I feel bad for these Star Wars fans that like this kind of shit because they're not really getting any good storytelling.